Tesla updates us on factory safety, a teardown company takes the Model 3 to task, a strange urban supercharger opens, and Tesla Energy aims to create a virtual power plant. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 358 for February 6th, 2018. Following up on last year's concerns from factory workers regarding safety at the Fremont plant, Tesla issued a statement on the work done to make the plant a safer place to work. Lori Shelby, the VP of Environmental Health and Safety, gives us a complete rundown of improvements and progress made at the factory. They start by reaffirming that safety suggestions from employees are being heard and give an example of one such occurrence on the Model 3 line. They move to the Total Recordable Incident Rate, or TRIR, which is how most manufacturing facilities measure safety incidents. In 2017, Tesla's TRIR was near equal to the industry average. While that's not where they ultimately want to be, they do note that while the plant was still NUMMI, the TRIR averaged a rate double that of Tesla's 2017 rating. In addition, they note that the safety record of the plant has consistently improved even while the plant makes significantly more vehicles every day. A new change which is awesome to see is the change in Tesla's return to work program. In the event that an employee is injured and must take a less active role due to the injury, they previously held to the typical industry standard where they would be paid the wage of the job they were reassigned to and allowed workers' compensation or insurance to fill the gap. In the new program, the workers paid the wage of their original position regardless, and on top of that, if they can't place the worker within the company, they're temporarily placing them with nonprofits such as the YMCA, libraries, or food pantries, which is a win for everyone involved in my book. These are only the highlights of the statement, so go check out the full statement for all the details. We move next to the Autoline Network YouTube channel, where they have a video with Sandy Monroe, the CEO of Monroe & Associates, which among other things tears down cars to inspect how they're made. I will state from the top here that the CEO seems to have a heavy bias against Tesla, just in the attitude he seems to have, but we can't let that cloud the couple of good points that are made in this video. First and foremost are the points where emergency response teams cut the power from the battery. Per the video, there are two on the car. One is accessible by opening the frunk, and the other by opening the trunk. However, in the event of power loss, the frunk cannot be easily opened. It requires a separate 12-volt power supply to actuate the opening mechanism. Now stop and think about this for a moment. This requires emergency personnel across the entire country to carry a 12-volt battery around in the unlikely event that they need to extract someone from exactly one model of car ever made. When you say it like that, it sounds fairly asinine, and it is. Especially considering that Model S and Model X both have manual releases in the same location. I suspect this was a poorly thought out response to some videos that surfaced showing how you could steal from Tesla frunks by using this emergency feature. That notwithstanding, you can still use the rear cut point, but two things are at issue here as well. One is that it's not terribly clear where you need to cut to kill the power, and two is that it takes a power saw to do so rather than a simple set of clippers. Another valid critique is the lack of manual exit for the rear passengers. Again, Model S and Model X both have ways to manually open the rear doors in the event of an emergency. While his claims of having to crawl through the trunk are quite overblown, as you could more easily utilize the front doors to escape, this is still a baffling move to omit manual releases. If you're in for a cringeworthy 7.5 minutes, check out the full video in the description. We now head over to Electrek for our final two stories. You'll recall back when Urban Superchargers were announced, we had the double-edged sword where you received your full charge rate regardless of who was plugged in around you, but the full charge rate was only 72 kilowatts as compared to the standard supercharger, which was capable of delivering 120 kilowatts to a single car. Oddly enough, though, a new 20-stall station in a Chicago suburb seems to have the ability to deliver those 120 kilowatts, despite having the design form of the Urban Supercharger, according to owners that have used the new station. So that begs the question, what's going on here? The most likely possibility is that Tesla has yet again changed their supercharger stall design, and both versions of Tesla's high-powered charger will share the same design. It's unfortunate because it was really nice to be able to have an easy visual indicator to know what you were getting before. We'll see if Tesla has any statement regarding the matter. Lastly tonight, Tesla Energy isn't done in South Australia. While they're famously known for the power pack installation that was recently completed in Adelaide that became the world's largest battery installation, this new project may be the bigger project when history looks back on it. This new project will utilize Powerwall, not PowerPack, to create a virtual power plant. 50,000 homes in South Australia will be fitted with a 5 kilowatt solar array and a single 13.5 kilowatt hour Powerwall 2. This would result in 650 megawatt hours of new storage capacity in the state. So now not only do you have the centralized 129 megawatt hours that the grid can use, but homes now have their own storage, which may not even necessitate drawing on the grid's centralized storage. Tesla released a statement on the project saying, quote, "When the South Australian government invited submissions for innovation in renewables and storage, Tesla's proposal to create a virtual power plant with 250 megawatts of solar energy and 650 megawatt hours of battery storage was successful. A virtual power plant utilizes Tesla Powerwall batteries to store energy collectively from thousands of homes with solar panels. At key moments, the virtual power plant could provide as much capacity as a large gas turbine or coal power plant." End quote. While this is an exciting program, the timeline on it isn't so much. Tesla aims to have all 50,000 systems installed before 2022. A couple of quick notes before we go. Just a reminder that on Tuesday the 6th, which is likely the day that you're listening to this, at 1:30 Eastern Time, SpaceX will attempt to launch Falcon Heavy for the first time. As Elon has already said, this will be spectacular one way or the other, whether that means a massive explosion or a massive success. Either way, if you're a fan of space travel at all, get your popcorn ready and tune into the live stream at SpaceX.com. Also, Tesla's fiscal year 2017 earnings are due for release after the stock market closes on Wednesday this week, followed by our favorite conference call to discuss those results. Be sure to be ready for what is usually plenty of news on the following show, airing on Thursday. Make sure you check out the links to the full stories in the show description. While you're at it, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. Thanks as always to the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They're John Waltower, Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Mark and Sarah Thomas, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Bruno Quindici, John Rich, Joey Boots, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, and Adam Raymer Brown. If you can't support with dollars, please be sure to show your love with positive reviews and subscriptions on YouTube, iTunes, and other services across the internet. That's it for today. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. I'll see you all back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.